was we gave away 1% of our profits every year, which was a lot of money, and it was really fun. We got to support all sorts of cool stuff. You know, having been a social activist, I had a lot of connections and a lot of places that we wanted to give money away to. We gave a lot of money away to the American Indian community, a lot of money away to women's stuff, and just all sorts of stuff in East Palo Alto. And we would have, you know, we would pay our workers to go work on projects for free for different nonprofits that we liked. And, you know, pro bono legal work, all sorts of stuff, really fun. And part of that was coming out of our feeling that it was our responsibility as a successful company, that it was our responsibility to give back to the community that was supporting us and that was making our lives and our jobs and projects and all that possible, that we really felt that that was an important thing to do. And it had these incredible dividends. I mean, part of it was, and we also did lots of good stuff for our employees. Like, we owned 8, I think, vacation properties, and everybody in the company could go sit and spend a weekend for free at any. Wow. A couple at North Star and Laguna and down at Monterey. And I got to decorate them all. I was so fun. Wow. But anyway, so we did all sorts of stuff like that, and it was really fun. And I think that it was one of the reasons that we were such a successful company, because I feel that when you put out, what you put out comes back to you. Also, you know, in a real, and that's kind of, you know, my spiritual feeling about it, but in a really concrete way, you could also look at it and say, well, it makes the employees feel good about who they're working for. They love the company doing all this stuff. We had a thing where every year employees could nominate other employees who were working for nonprofits as volunteers, and we would give them money at Christmas. You know, we'd have these giant checks. Oh, here's $5,000 for, you know, one warm coat or whatever it was, you know. And people love working for companies where you're doing stuff like that and where you're part of it, because that's where people's hearts are, you know. So, and you have, it pays you back as an employer to have employees who feel good about your company. You know, it does you good in the community because people, you know about you, and it's a great networking thing, and it's good for your PR and all that. But kind of the most important thing was it just made us feel good. You know, the days when I was like really pissed off at the vice presidents, some of whom were just assholes, you know, and I thought, how can I spend 40 hours, 50, 60 hours a week here with these people? And I think, wow, but we got to put on that insane Taj Mahal, you know, benefit concert that supported that Indian Health Center, you know. So then you're like, okay, it's worth it. You know, I can do it. So anyway, now in my personal life, my folks, I grew up in the Episcopal Church, and, you know, on my mother's side, there were other, you know, various Christian churches that different generations belonged to. My great-grandfather was a small-time grocer, mom-and-pop grocer. His brother was a minister, and he believed that the Bible said that you need to tithe. And what a tithe is 10%. 10% kind of off the top. And what my great-grandfather felt was that all of the money was God's money. Everything he had belonged to God, and that God was letting him use 90% of it, and he let God keep 10%. You know, and so when we sold the company, Jimmy and I dedicated 10% of the money that we made selling the company. We put it aside, and it's going to be a foundation. Right now it's invested in venture capital stuff, because we're hoping it will even be more. It's getting bigger. But and every year of the money that we live on off of our investments, we take 10% of the money we live on every year and give that away. And we did that. I mean, it's easy to look at it now and say, well, she's got all this money, so of course she can do that. But we did that when we were living in the barrio. We did it when I was living in the ghetto in Seattle. All our life, we've always done that. However little or however much we had. And the reason that I do it is because it works. It works really well. My experience is that having the experience of giving money away, it means that I have a really different relationship to money than I would have if I felt like I got to keep every bit, got to hold on. I've got to hold on to every bit that I have. When I get into that mindset, and I do sometimes, in my life I've gotten into, oh my God, the bills and da-da-da, we can't afford to give any more money away. It seems like it's this downward spiral. And it's like the more we hold on, the less there is. And I think it's because we're focusing on what we don't have. Mm-hmm. And when you give money away to people, you give it away, it makes you focus on how much you have. It makes me really grateful for everything I have. It makes me realize that I have way more than I need. Even when I was living in the ghetto, I still had way more than I needed. Because a lot of the people I was giving money away to then had a lot less than me, So, I always had a roof over my head. I always had an education. I always had skills. I always had ways I could make a living. And a lot of people don't. And so it always made me aware of that, about how lucky I was and how privileged I was. And kind of by focusing on that, it has just seemed like in my life what's happened is I've always had more and more. And it just seems like that's the way the energy flows. One of my new career titles is being a philanthropist. The other thing is, I don't know anything that gets you higher than giving away money. Or, it's a high. It's like there's nothing quite as fun as that. Okay.
Sorry, it's horrible.
So what I want to do this time, we're going to count you off differently, so you end up with a new person. Okay. So I'm going to count you off. So it's 1, 2, 3, Jennifer, 4. You're 4, 5, 6. Okay. Remember your number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Oh, now we're going to have to shoot. You're 6. Okay. You're 7. I'm 7. Okay. Okay. Did I confuse everybody? So find the person that's your number. 1.
1.
2. 3. I'm 4. You're 5. All right.